Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm Brian.
I'm Dan.
Our next guest is head nerd, Michael. Michael, welcome to the show. Michael is with Nerds to Go. Nerds to Go in Bellevue is an IT and computer repair company located on Northeast 8th in Bellevue. MacBooks, smartphones, iPads, and more that has to do with tech, the nerds got you covered. Welcome back to the show, Michael.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Since you've been on the show before, please share with our listeners what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is.
Okay, so you guys are in for a treat. You don't know this, but I lived in New Orleans for quite some time, and I did give to New Orleans, but I received much more.
Uh-huh.
And one of those is an Emerald Lagasse recipe for a rub and an injection for fried turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
So for the past 12 years, I've been frying turkeys.
Nice.
And
So that's what you do at the Santiago's house?
correct,
Nice.
safely.
Good.
That was my next question, if your insurance is current.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we try not to be a YouTube video every year.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
But you are videotaping, though, while you put it in.
Yeah,
Just in case.
Just in case, for insurance purposes.
Just a note, make sure it's thawed out all the way.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Have you seen those videos where they make it explode?
Oh,
They're basically
oh,
putting a frozen
oh,
turkey in there.
One of my friends, his neighborhood, his cul-de-sac, we get together, and they'd all do their turkeys together. And one fateful year, one of the deep fryers got knocked over, which quickly ignited and took out the other four.
Oh,
So five,
Gosh.
a 5 giant pot of grease fire.
well, I moved away from the tall tub
Yeah.
fryer
Yeah.
because it was scary, and
Yeah.
I've now moved on to a indoor butterball turkey fryer.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, which you should never use indoor unless you want your house to smell like McDonald's.
Oh, there you go. Funny.
Well, that may be something we want. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So next off-topic question, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, what are you most thankful for?
Yeah, so nobody made it to where they are by themselves.
Hmm.
And,
That's right.
You know, I'm not at the top yet, but I can take a checkpoint and see where I am today. And I'm thankful for the individuals that have helped. When I was
The shoulders upon which you stand.
Mhm,
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
that's right. So,
Awesome.
So today, Michael is joining us to share with us 5 things that business owners need to do to protect their goose or their fried turkey, as this case may be.
Mhm.
Okay, what is the first thing a business owner needs to do?
Okay, so we're going to walk through this, right? We're going to get
Okay.
progressively better. So we'll start with the easy ones. So number one, you can't work with bad equipment.
Yep.
And so if
Yep.
you've got some slow machines, and I'm talking about laptops, desktops, things like that, first of all, hot plug. There's always free diagnosis at Nerds to Go when you bring your machines to us.
Mhm.
So we can help you get a good look at it and understand why it's behaving slowly. But a pro tip, one of the biggest causes for slow machines are multiple antiviruses installed on your
Oh,
machine.
interesting.
Overprotection.
Overprotection.
Is that possible?
That is possible. So, like two cousins fighting over the last piece of turkey at Thanksgiving, they will fight each other to the death, taking down your machine as collateral. And
Wow.
so instead of just downloading that hot McAfee or Norton, consider you might have two, and that may be just as easy as uninstalling and getting rid of that.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but most Microsoft Recent has their antivirus. Is that going to conflict with it?
It can.
So that could
yes.
be a culprit, right?
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
assess that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Very
easily.
good. All right. So number 1, make sure you're not double protected.
Correct.
Okay. Number 2?
Number 2, password managers. And I'm going to get a little bit more security based, but at the very least, it's just so hard to remember everything.
Right.
Yep.
So you don't want to leave it up to the noggin.
Especially at Brian's age.
Yeah, give me
I-
a break.
I didn't want to say that, but
Okay.
I'm glad you went
You're a
there.
guest.
And
I
yes,
can go there. but
Yes,
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Well, here I'll cover 2 turkeys with 1 stone here. Today is my father's 94th birthday. Happy
Ah.
birthday, Dad!
Happy birthday.
But he has trouble with passwords. you know,
Yeah.
and so this could be
Yeah.
how should he manage his passwords?
Okay, if I'm being honest, everyone should have trouble with passwords because the requirements for what you should make them and how often you should change them are far beyond anyone's capacity to remember them.
Totally.
Sure.
So use the easy button, get a password manager. I use Dashlane. There's another one like LastPass,
Dashlane.
Dashlane.
I use
Dashlane.
Keeper.
Keeper's a great one.
Okay.
And if you're using one of those, you're likely staying one step ahead of those bad guys who just want your information.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that is talked to a guy who does security for Amazon, right? He's in the security, programmers people, and he said that if you're using two-factor authentication, right, that's So what I do with mine is the master password requires two-factor authentication, which means you cannot get into my account unless you have access to my cell phone. It's just redundancy.
Yes.
But that's my top-end security. So he said I was like in the 3%. Like most executives, I'm way, way more secure than they are.
Yeah. Yeah, when you say two-factor authentication, that's like pillow talk to me. I
Oh,
appreciate
right,
that.
right. Can you explain what that is to the non-nerds out there? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you said. It is easy. Well, it's sometimes easy for someone to get a hold of your password eventually, but it would be much more difficult for them to have that as well as, say, physically holding onto your cell phone. And that's what
Right.
would need to happen. In two-factor authentication, they're using two pieces of your identity to ensure it's you.
Cool. Number 3.
Okay, here we go. You're a hardworking business owner. You're looking for all the ways to cut costs and expenses. And one of the things you may not know is that right under your nose, if you have a Microsoft O365 or Microsoft license, you very well may also have other applications that you unnecessarily pay for. So, for example, you might have some people have Slack, or they've got a Zoom conferencing software, or they have a calendar software called Calendly, which helps you figure out when you can book someone. These and others are all really redundant with Microsoft's offerings. And if you're paying for an O365 Office 365 subscription, it's very likely the Microsoft version of that is available to you at no extra cost.
So
Good to
the
know.
web version of it.
Also, the application depends on your license. So
Okay.
you may have the web and application versions.
So what you're saying is to protect their business is to be less redundant, right? Don't pay for things you're not that you already have.
Yep.
Maybe sit down with the nerds and understand how to use them.
Correct. Dropbox being a huge one. Do you know how many times we walk into a Dropbox scenario and we say, do you enjoy paying that monthly because you have the exact same thing with OneDrive, which is already part of your subscription?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Okay. This gets real great. If
Thought it already was real great.
Yeah.
it's going to get better.
It's getting
Okay.
better.
It's getting better. If you look down at your Windows logo and it is circular and it says Windows 7, it's time to upgrade.
Right.
At the end of this year, Microsoft will no longer support Windows 7. Why that's important? You're going to lose security updates. Back to the bad guys.
Right.
First off, let's be specific. Windows 7 sucks.
Yeah.
First, just change it. It sucks.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
So-
wife is objecting to this, but we are right now having this conversation.
Yeah.
She has Windows 7?
She's on 7.
Oh, my
and it's like,
goodness.
sweetie, come on.
So- Guys like us, the nerds, we understand 7 may be your baby. And if that's the case and you love the way it looks and feels, there are ways to make Windows 10 look and feel just like 7.
Really.
And if you want us to do that at night when no one's looking and switch it
Yeah.
while they're
Little-
asleep,
Little remote action there.
yeah, we can do that as well.
Nice.
That's an additional fee, I'm sure, but we can talk about that.
Okay.
These folks who are on 7 probably also have Blackberries in there.
I love my BlackBerry.
Oh,
Do
funny.
give it up. So with regards to Windows 7, there's a lot of security issues with it, and they're going to stop supporting it. So any future security exploits that get developed are
That's
going to
right.
get more. And Windows 10, what is that upgrade path? If somebody has a machine, do they have to upgrade their machine?
Yeah. So do they have to upgrade to
The
10?
machine.
The hardware.
The hardware, yeah.
No. So that's a depends. It's very likely that if you've got something that's about 5 years old, you may be okay. I'm going to speak very generally. beyond that, it's worth a look. And I know a company that can help you take a look at that for free and give you some free advice as to whether you can make it there.
Who's that company?
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked. Nerds to Go.
Oh,
right.
you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
us
right.
again.
Yes, of course.
We did that.
So number 5.
Okay. This is going to take a more serious tone.
Okay.
If you're a small business owner and you have insurance and you feel that that insurance is what's going to protect you in the case of some, say, data loss, or you've been attacked with ransomware, the sad fact is it's not going to bring your data back. So while you may have provisions to allow you to get back up and running with some cash or maybe some ways to replenish some of the hardware, getting that data is most critical. And you might find that just allowing that to be what it is the best course of action. And your only alternative is to go back to last night's copy.
Hmm.
And when I say last night's copy, that's assuming that you have a backup and disaster recovery plan.
Local.
Local or in the cloud or redundant.
Yeah, and what Michael's talking about for the listeners out there is there are these phishing campaigns where people send an email saying, hey, you need to change something on your account. And there are municipalities on the east side that have been locked out of very important files.
City of Sammamish.
Yeah, I wasn't going to name names, but
No,
since
that's
Brian
all it
announced
is.
it.
That's all it is.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
want to libel. But anyways, and they had to pay. There was nothing they can do. They're not going to be able to recover that information. And so for a business, year end, you're getting ready to finalize your books. There's a lot of things. Maybe holiday is your biggest season, right? And the last thing, you can't access your point of sale system. You can't, fulfill orders. So the phishing happens, right? People click on something, they're moving, they're shaking. This is their important time. And to quite simply, every file that I have is backed up in my Google Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Any important file that if
Yeah.
my computer, like literally as we're talking today, just fried in a fiery ball of turkey grease, I would be able to just pick up and reinstall all the applications
Right.
and move forward.
Yeah.
There's nothing there that I couldn't, but the backup system.
Yeah.
I think I like the redundancy of having a local backup.
Yeah.
Because the cloud is the cloud.
Yeah. And so not only having a local, assume you had an actual local disaster as well, maybe a fire that took down the server that was in your home. That's a good reason why you would want redundant solutions.
In the cloud.
In the cloud.
Yeah.
I will say that it costs pennies to do this.
Mm.
So I wish folks knew and understood the dangers that they face so that they would more easily just move on to something that's going to ensure them at a greater level than, say, a policy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Michael knows the look on someone's face when he says, "I'm sorry,
It's gone.
we can't."
That's
can't-
right.
We can't get those pictures of your kids,
That's right.
right?
Yeah, or in some terrible cases, we have no access to your customer data. It's gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So happy days.
Yeah.
No, but I do want to. Michael and I have talked about the type of services that he offers businesses. Can you just kind of we've got about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Break down a small business if they came to you and said, Michael, I don't want a nickel and dime. I just outline what I need to know so you guys take care of us.
Yeah, there's varying levels of how businesses want us to take care of them. Sometimes they just want the basics. Keep us alive, up and running. All the way through, we never want to think about IT.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about, we never want to think of IT, that's managing things like Office 365, their internal network, adding new users when they come on board, helping them with disaster recovery. We actually have our own solution where we can do a backup and disaster recovery. Yet to be named, I think we're going to call it Nerd Cloud because it has to have the word nerd and after today, maybe even turkey. I've decided.
The Turkey Nerd Cloud? That
Yeah.
doesn't sound
Turkey
No,
Nerd
right. We'll work
still
on
in
that.
discussion. But ultimately, a small business owner, they can stay doing the job that they want to do and get out of the business of IT. Let us do that. And that's some of the offerings, and we do that at a pretty inexpensive cost.
We need to talk. That's
So
good.
Michael and Nerds to Go, for a promotion for coming on the show, is offering $50 off labor of any service when you use the service code Turkey Talk Nerds. 50. I changed that.
That's
You have
correct.
to mention
Talk.
turkey.
There we
But
go.
yeah, that promotion is live. So if you need to get things kind of squared away before the family gets here, give him a call. How do they get a hold of you?
Okay, 2 ways. 425-366-8234. Or you can go to Talk Nerdy to Me. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a different show.
nerdstogo.com.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Michael, thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Remember that this and other segments of our show are available to watch at our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Eastside Real Estate Team. If you're interested in learning more from these or future guests, join us after the break for some final thoughts and something fun to do this holiday. We'll be right back.